Hello everyone. In the previous chapter, we saw a village in the Krishna Delta which had plenty of water and rich soil. Imagine life in a village that has very little rain or irrigation facilities and poor soil. By going through the lesson, we can see how people live in such a difficult terrains. To understand this region, let's start the lesson. First, what are plateaus? Plateaus are marked by several small hills, hill ranges, and hillocks, interspersed with the flat areas between them. Plateaus are marked by several small hills, hill ranges, and hillocks, interspersed with flat areas between them. This region is also rocky with thin layers of soil. An important aspect of this landform is that it receives very low rainfall. As you know, the Deccan Plateau comes in the southern region of India. It is the largest plateau in India. It has a high and steep edge on the west and is known as the Western Ghats. The entire Telangana plateau falls on the wider Deccan Plateau and is divided into Upper and Lower Telangana. The twin cities of Hyderabad and Sikandrabad come under Upper Telangana Plateau. The plateau slopes from west to east. To understand the terrain, we visited a typical village located in Telangana Plateau, Dokur, in Mahbubnagar district. Location of Dokur. Dokur is in Devarakadra Mandal and is around 25 kilometers away from Mahbubnagar town. The old name of this village is Dakur and it comes from the word Daku, which means dacoit. Many years ago, the dacoit groups lived in the area surrounding Dakur, as was easy to hide in the heavy bushes in the forest area. Today, children, the village is called Dokur. And next, coming to the climate and rainfall of this place, the temperature of the region goes up to 40 degrees Celsius during summer from February to June. However, during this winter months from November to January, the temperature during the day is between 20 degrees to 30 degrees Celsius. This region usually gets rainfall from the end of June to October, but the rain is very scanty and irregular. Scanty means very less rainfall. It varies a lot every year and therefore it is unpredictable and unreliable. When there is a really low rainfall, a drought situation develops. Drought means without water the crops dry up. Crops dry and there is no water in the tanks and less groundwater level. No drinking water for humans and cattle in the absence of irrigation facilities. It is very difficult to carry out agriculture work. Hence, this region becomes drought prone. Soils in Dokur. About half of the agricultural land in the village has red soil or erra nelalu, which are not very deep or fertile and they are without many nutrients because of the high sand content, and they do not retain much water, which help the roots spread firm and wide. Only one season crop can be grown. Next comes the nalla or shallow black soils about 60 centimeter depth cover a small part of the land in the village. This soil is suitable for crops as it is very fertile and retains moisture for a long period. Chaudu and Garasu are the other major soil types and they constitute about 30% of the land area of the village. These are uncultivable and mostly with white pebbles. Water resources. There are two water resources, tanks and ponds, wells and bore wells. Pedda Cheruvu is the main tank in Dokur. It gets water only when the tank of Devarkadra is filled. When Pedda Cheruvu of Dokur is filled with that water, it flows to other tanks like Chakkali Koikunta, Vani Vampu and Badi and Vampu, therefore form a necklace of pearls. That is, there is a chain of tanks. These tanks were excavated long ago in which the rainwater could be stored. With such low rainfall, people devised the system of a chain of tanks to capture more water as they could. The water in these tanks also recharge the surrounding wells. But nowadays, there is no one to clean the silt from the tank or to clear the weeds. Today, most of the tanks are not used and cultivation of lands totally depends on borewells. Next comes, as the groundwater table is very low in the plateau region, as also the village wells and tanks are dried up, Everyone in the village are relying on bore wells. Relying is nothing but they are depending on only bore wells. Over the years, as everyone are digging bore wells for water, the depth of bore wells have increased to 500 feet. And hence digging bore wells is not only expensive affair and risky, but also a big burden to the farmers with very small holdings, which cost more than 1 lakh rupees. Earlier, the small farmers had better options. From their wells and the share of IUT2 land, areas that is area served by an irrigation project such as canal, dam or tank, when the system of lands was in use.